Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am here because I need to film some content for my salon, and I don't want to do that barefaced, okay? So I am going to do my makeup and chit-chat with you guys about things that's been going on with me. First, I'm going to be priming under my lids with the Danessa Myricks Moisture Repair Balm. Just taking a little on my fingers and just gently massaging that in to this under eye of mine because it feels atrocious. It feels absolutely atrocious. So we're just giving him a little extra hydration. And then I'm going in with Glaze It from Point of View, since I am feeling pretty moist today. So, mind y'all, it's pretty late at night here, so it's like 10 something. But I need to get this out for my salon. I haven't filmed any content because all my models keep canceling. So for those of you who don't know, which I don't know if I've ever shared this before or not, I've been a hairstylist now for a little over 10 years. And I'm also a clinical social worker. Not in the state of Washington, though. My license doesn't mean anything here without a master's degree. So here I'm just Joe Schmo, the social worker, living here. But in other places, like back home in Ohio, I actually do have a licensure that is recognized. This is Amp It by Point of View. I just got done eating. My lips feel a little bit dry. So I am filming some content for the salon. We're just covering some of these little ones that I have right now up, because don't nobody got time for that. Okay, I think that's the only one that's like really bothering me. I hate outbreaks close to Aunt Flo. So I moved to Seattle. It'll be a year on Saturday, February 28th, and then I moved in my apartment the next day. I stayed with my ex overnight. This is my color correcting concealer from Caliray. And I don't see the color on here. Sunset is the color. And I like this because it's a concealer. It color corrects and it has like peptides and caffeine and different things in it. And it just helps with depuffing me down. But I have had the hardest time staying employed while living in Seattle. I don't deal well with authority on a regular basis, but having to deal with insecure people here, or people who feel like they can disrespect me, talk to me crazy. Living in Seattle, this is land of passive aggressiva, and these people are like mad passive aggressive. If y'all see me looking down, it's because I need my mirror. The people here are mad passive aggressive. And so I have just been thoroughly annoyed with like the whole process of that and how I've been treated. It's like all of the white people here are like super pro-liberal until it's time to actually do some pro-liberal stuff. And they would rather just have a protest. They'll never speak out. They'll never be uncomfortable. They'll never do any of those things. And they try to backdoor a lot of the black people. And it's become the bane of my existence. I won't even sit up here and lie to y'all. Pat McGrath. This is in the shade MD22. So I have just grown quite frustrated with the fact that I've had to deal with these people just making up stuff. Even this most recent job, I made great money. I was just miserable. And I threatened to sue them because I was being threatened by residents. I worked in low-income housing. And these people had gone through a lot with the management at this building. And so I had a lot to say about the way that they were handling the situations. And they didn't like that. And then I started receiving threats. And so I had to let them know, like, hey, we don't do the threatening thing around here. You can't sit up here and threaten me and think that I'm okay with that. And so when I said something to them about it, I asked them, I have my concealed carry. I said, can I use my concealed carry? Because mind y'all, people were vandalizing my office door. They were just doing all kind of stuff. And it had just got out of hand. Like, there was already an alarm system in my office because of this being a situation previously with the last person that was there. And somebody was unalived in that building back in June. And so it was just a lot. And so I'm not one to let people disrespect me. Residents, management don't matter. See how well that blends out? Like, shout out to the supervisor. Again, this is amazing. Like, if I went in with a little bit less and just wanted to buff this out, like, I could. But I was just heavily annoyed. And so I told them, they were like, well, you can't have your concealed carry. It's not that serious. You're overreacting. We're not going to do anything in terms of, you know, safety. We're already paying enough money for security at night. We're not paying for it again. And so it just turned into a whole situation that I just wasn't very comfortable with. And it was just exhausting. Like, so when the situation continued to happen and I continued to assert myself, I knew that the end was near. So when they called me in the office and it's like, well, we'll offer you a severance and all of this other BS, I already knew what time it was, y'all. Like, I already knew what time it was when y'all come offering me a severance, because y'all don't want to have to deal with, y'all just don't have to deal with my mouth. Like, I had a lot of stuff planned. The building was in a lot of debt. Like, it was just a lot to deal with. And so I, you know, took my severance and went on about my day. And then I still have to do other things like, you know, unemployment. So where is my powder? Oh, there it is. No, that's not the powder I needed. Let me find my powder. Hold that thought. Okay, so it was out here. So I'm just a little, I guess, more frustrated because I still got bills to pay, y'all. Like, the bills ain't stopped. The bills ain't gone nowhere. I'm just using the lightest tap of Huda powder just to lightly set that. So when I go to put foundation on top of it, it doesn't move. But see how I was talking, like, how well that did? Like, it does such a good job. Like, it was totally worth, I think, like $29 I paid for it. But it's just exhausting, right? It's exhausting to constantly have to prove your worthiness. And then because I don't have a degree living here, like, I won't lie to y'all, the nonprofit sector is snobbish enough without, you know, and then there's just so many social workers with like white savior complex. That's something else I'd be like super duper annoyed with, where you're hand holding people through certain stuff. You hand hold people through. I'm a firm believer in that. There's some stuff, this is why I'm here, is to assist you. There are other times where I'm not, this is not what this is supposed to be. And the fact that you keep letting them get away with disrespecting you, so then when I start my job, they expect the same thing from me. And that's not how we're doing this today. We're not, you cannot sit up here and disrespect me under any circumstances. And I won't lie to y'all, it's like super duper exhausting. And so now I'm going back into the salon world. I have a girlfriend who has a sweet space, which I need to finalize everything with her. I just got my business license today. I applied for it last week. It was finally processed, so I have that process. And going back into the salon full-time, well, technically it's still part-time. Part-time, after being gone for a while, has its own also nuances and frustrations, at least on my end, right? It's just a lot to absorb. So I've been a stylist, like I said, for 10 years. And I love natural hair. I love being a stylist. I love making women feel good about themselves. I can tell y'all that I do have my own level of fears with being back in the salon world full time. And I feel like a lot of it comes down to me kind of beating myself up a little bit. Because of social media, I feel like clients expect perfection because that's what they see online. And people don't see, when you film anything, people don't see your fails, right? I am using the Juvia's Place Coffee Shop palette. So, going in with that brown. Just in my crease and going up. Because I'm probably just going to pop in a neutral pink, which is my go-to color. Just having to deal with things needing to be perfect, or you having to constantly be the bearer of bad news to people with their hair, right? We live in a world nowadays where it's queen of the weave and the wigs, and natural hair has taken somewhat of a backseat. People like being natural. People don't like doing their hair. And see, back in the day when we were all relaxed, it was easier to just go to the salon and get your wig busted. Did I not grab my other palette? Oh, no. No, that's not the palette I wanted. I think that palette is in the bathroom, and I'm not getting up. I'm just not going to do it. So it's just exhausting to me now to have to constantly have these conversations with people of, your hair is dry, your hair is damaged, you can't not wash it for months at a time. You have to take some time out, do your hair, get to know your hair. You can't get to know your hair if you're always covering it up, right? So this is the conversation that I'm constantly having with people, and it becomes exhausting after a while. Like, it becomes exhausting to have this conversation with people constantly of, your hair is dry because you don't take the time out to do it. You don't take the time out to do it because 9 times out of 10, you don't even like it. And that's okay. You not liking your hair is something that we can have conversations about. Because that's normal, right? Because we're living in a world of Europeanized beauty standards, right? I feel like the makeup community has fought back a lot better with this than the hair community has. But I always tell people there's the natural hair movement and then there's the curly hair movement. And those movements are not the same. The curly hair movement is leaning more towards women who are not black, making their experiences easier. They don't care about black women's hair dysphoria or how they feel about themselves. These people don't care. They want to sell product. And so when you're trying to have those conversations with people and let them know, like, hey, this is what it is, they don't care. And so even the professional hair care world makes a really, really sad attempt at inclusivity. They'll come out with a curly, product and try to make it universal, and it's not going to ever be universal. And so that, for me, tends to be the hard part of why are we doing this, right? Why is this a thing? I'm trying something new to y'all. Don't mind me. I seen this, and then I got to go back and clean it up. But I was just curious to see if I was going to like this or not. So y'all get to see me experimenting because I don't got nowhere to be. That's different. I have to go in and smoke this out a little bit. Yeah, we got to fix that. But it gives me, there's certain things nowadays that just give me pause. And that's one of them, is when we try to make something universal that's probably not universal in the slightest little bit, and we attempt to make it that way. Or, you want to try to loop everybody into the same thing, and you simply just, you can't do that. That's not how that works. And when you tell people that, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that that's not how that works, right? They don't want to hear that you have to make a better effort. They don't want to hear that they did something wrong, especially in the pro beauty space. They don't want to admit that they're probably racist, you know, or prejudiced in some way against, you know, people whose hair looks like mine when it's loose, right? And so I've had to deal with that on quite a few occasions of, well, how do I feel about it? I do not like whatever it is I just did. Hold that thought. Okay, we're done trying new stuff for tonight. I tend to get frustrated because I'm not good at eyeliner. Like, I'm actually quite terrible at it. And I want to be better at it. But I have really watery eyes. And I promise y'all that does not help my case in any capacity. So I've been looking at like eyeshadow techniques to add like eyeliner and stuff. And it's just not working, right? It's not giving me what I needed to give me like in any capacity. But hair is very interesting. I'm excited to be my own boss again. I'm probably still gonna have to go get something part-time, which is fine. There's hotline stuff I can work with the city or different mental health positions I can take, which will work. But I won't sit up here and tell y'all that I'm not a little defeated being so far away from home without a plan, with, you know, bills were already piled up for me being unemployed the last time, and then finding out that unemployment actually owes me money from that time off, and me having to go through this giant appeals process, and me still having to turn in stuff every week, even though you're constantly telling me I'm disqualified, you know, and then trying to get rental assistance when you don't have kids. And because I just renewed my lease, I actually qualify for a free month's worth of rent. But first we got to get the back owed balance paid down, because they can actually evict me over that. And so going out to be like, hey, you know, can I get some help? Like, I have money, but if I give y'all all the money I have, I'm not going to be able to eat. And if y'all don't know with who is in the White House right now, I learned back in the summertime that getting assistance right now is very, 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 very difficult. And so I try to save that for the 11th hour and not stress myself out about it. But I won't sit up here and lie to y'all. It's a lot to deal with. And so sometimes me just doing my face, even if I'm not going anywhere, it just feels nice because I just have so much stuff on my plate. You know, with 40 looming next year, I'm always asking myself the question, did I fail as an adult? Like, am I a bad adult? Am I too much of a dreamer? Did I dream too much? Did I dream? Why are you sticking to my finger? You're making it hard for it to go on. You're making a mess. You're starting to irritate me. Did I dream a little too much? Should I have been looking for more stability? And then the times when I have stability, I won't sit up here and lie to y'all, I'm miserable. Yeah, I have money, and that's cool. But the lack of creative freedom in that is exhausting. Not feeling like you're in your own body. Not feeling like you're doing what needs to be done. It doesn't fit. It doesn't feel good. If I'm being completely honest with you, I've grown exhausted with it. And that's the part that no one talks about, is how that feels. It feels horrible. It feels horrible to feel like you failed as an adult. And that's how I feel. So here we are. Patrick Ta Luminous Major Skin Hydrolux Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. Say that 12 times fast. This is in the color 18 Golden Neutral. If I look like we the same color, I'm very yellow undertones. But I tend to get certain things that are more neutral. It's just more, I don't know, I feel like it gives me something different. But maybe I'm not alone with not feeling like a real adult. It's very, it's just very difficult to like talk about. Even with my friends sometimes. Like, I have to self-soothe quite a bit, especially since moving here. And me and him not doing whatever it is we're not doing anymore. And then me running into him last week as I'm leaving my new salon space because it's attached to a grocery store. The salon suites, they're all in the same like little plaza. And he looked at me like I was a stranger. Almost 14 years of us being friends. And that man looked at me like I was a stranger. He looked right through me. And I won't lie to y'all. That's something that has bothered me all week. Because I move out here to be closer to you. And to work on whatever it is that we were doing. To then find out once I get here that I'm replaced. By something younger and blazing. Here we are. I won't sit up here and tell you that it doesn't hurt. It does. And so I self-soothe a lot. I'll talk to my friends about how I'm feeling, but I never really get into depth. Mostly because I don't want to feel like, I guess I dumped on them. This is the LYS Contour Stick. In the color, I guess it says Honest. No Limits, Honest. I have been loving this. I've been using the curve case for the last year. And so using this and how quick and seamless this process is, I was like, oh, wow. Okay, bet. So it's been quite nice. And this was like 20 bucks. They have other products that I keep saying I'm going to go and try out. It's just, I don't want to become one of those people who like has so much product that they don't know what in the world to do with it all. And they end up like product logged because they just bought so much of it. I don't want that to be my reality. Actually. Let's put you on right now. While it's fresh on my brain. So I don't know how I feel some days. There's just been a lot of transitions going on. And it's just been, I guess, a lot to like absorb for me. Because I don't know day to day how I feel about it, right? I don't know what I want anymore. I know I want autonomy. As I've gotten older, having autonomy is very important to me. I don't mind sticking to a schedule. I just like being able to pick and choose when I do whatever it is that I'm doing. I don't like to be on other people's schedule. That is something that frustrates the heck out of my nerves. And I think it's where I struggle at with working a regular 9 to 5 sometimes, is I hate the mundaneness of the day after day. I will tell you that. What I love, which I didn't even tell you I was using, this is the Morphe Blush Trio in the color After Party. I don't like people telling me what to do and where to be and how to act and you need to do this, this, and that, and then doing the same thing every single day over and over and over and over again. I will tell you that there are some mundane things that come with doing hair. But I can also tell y'all, and this is the Patrick Ta Concealer in the shade Tan Golden Peach number 3. I can tell y'all wholeheartedly that even with some of the repetitive things I have to talk about within hair with people on a day-to-day basis, I still thoroughly enjoy what it is that I do, right? And I'm happy about that. it's nice to still enjoy who you are and what it is that you do, because a lot of people don't get that opportunity to find things that bring them joy. Like recently it has been makeup. And I learned makeup in beauty school, but I was really bad at it and not confident with myself. And so I can honestly tell you now that I know how to do my face. It has definitely helped with how I feel about myself. And having a good skincare routine has also helped. So I don't know. It's all a nuance thing for me at this point, and trying to figure out, well, what the heck do you want? And what's next? What do you want for this next decade of your life? You're child free. You may never have kids. Are you okay with that? I'm going to tell you guys, sometimes it's hard. I wanted a family. I wanted kids and a spouse again, right? Because I'm divorced. And it just never seems like a right moment for me to meet somebody worth having. Like, at all. So, I don't know. It affects me more than I'd like to admit to at times. Like, I definitely get bothered by it. But there's really nothing I can do about it outside of just try to date. And dating in this dating arena is very difficult. I feel like a lot of the men don't like women. And to be honest with you, a lot of us don't like them either. So it just, here we are. I'm still playing with this concealer. So far, I really do like it. I feel like Patrick Todd has been very consistent with his drops and the things that he comes out with that I've had the opportunity to try out. I will say that I feel like he's more consistent than like Mario is. Like, I get excited about Mario's stuff, and a lot of times I am like majorly disappointed. And that makes me sad because I want to like Mario's product. Like, I really do. And I had one of his foundations, his original one, and it just didn't do it for me. I don't know how it does it for other people, but it just didn't do it for me specifically. This needs to be buffed out some more. There's sometimes I don't be wanting to buff. I be wanting to go on with my day. And then I'll get upset when my concealer looks like stir-fried hot garbage. And it's because I didn't keep on buffing it out. I do like this brush though. I got it from Amazon. And it gets into every friggin' nook and cranny. And I appreciate it so much. I'm not going to do a nose contour tonight. Mostly because I'm about to just film some salon stuff introducing myself. And that's been another thing. Trying to find clients here or people to be models. People really do be giving me the side eye. Like, this chick is weird. She's in my face. And I'll be like, oh, I love your hair. And they're looking at me like, my hair is nappy. Why do you like it? And I just be looking at them like, oh, never mind then. You're a hostile baddie. Like, I'm not about to sit up here, ma'am, and like fight with you over telling you that I like your hair. Who knew that would be such an offensive thing? All right, we're finishing this up. I'm using my P. Louise quad. This is the color story called Succeed. You can get this here on TikTok Shop. Been testing it out for the last few weeks, and I think I'm ready to finally give a review on it. I really like it. I think the colors are very pretty. I could have went with the other color story, but I'm kind of happy I did this one. The only color I don't foresee myself using, I guess, is this blush color. It just looks a little orange on me. But maybe come summer, when I need that little bit of like terracotta situation going on, it'll, do the job. So we'll see. But so far I like it. And then I'm going to also use the shimmery blush out of this one as well, because it's almost the same color as what's on my cheeks. And it's a powder, so we're going to set it. And then I also have a Rare Beauty blush I'm going to put on here in a minute. But yeah, that's been life lately. Life lately has been a lot of almosts and a lot of it's coming and a lot of you're doing a good job, but also in the same breath, you feel like a failure as an adult. And you feel like you're never going to make it to the other side, or you felt like you did make it to the other side, and now you feel like you have to like start over again for the 1000th time. I won't sit up here and lie to y'all. Having to do that is exhausting. It just is, and it drives me insane. And I don't complain about it, you know. Rock bottom is a great place to start over from, but some days, I won't lie to y'all, it's just exhausting. Like I'm doing this again. We're doing this again. Like, why? Why are we doing this again? This is the Pat McGrath loose setting powder. Just touching up all the places it needs touched, so I'm not looking crazy. So I don't know. I want to tell y'all that I'm okay, but some days I'm not. Some days it really hits me hard that my mom is gone and I'm divorced. And I'm in a city for somebody that I call myself loving and caring deeply about, who loved and cared about me, but not enough to tell me the truth about who he was or what his needs were. I think I could have handled us not going there with each other if I knew him not being in my life was going to be the result. This is just me going back in because I went a little ham with the powder and you can't see my my blush. So yeah, it was it had its own set of nuances and exhaustions for me. And I think that's just kind of where it's been, is what the heck am I supposed to do with these feelings now? Do I just go to bed at night and act like everything's okay and nothing bothers me? Because that'd be the furthest thing from the truth. But I also can't erupt and not take responsibility for the part that I played in some of these situations. So if I'm going to be the adult in the room, this is the Rare Beauty powder blush. This is like the shimmery blushes, and this is in the color Hope. Oh yeah, because her pink highlighters looked super freaking ashy on me, but this one, these blushes do not. So I like using them. So, you know, there comes a time now where, do I want to bake? Is this a bake moment? I don't think this is a moment that I need to bake. I do want some setting powder though. I do want to set a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. This is just more Huda. This is just more Huda. Uh-oh. Usually I bake, but as of lately, it's been setting into the lines under my eyes. And I have not been a fan of that look. I'm not even going to sit up here and lie to y'all. So I haven't been baking. And I haven't been going super ham with the powder. Because my foundation is so dewy, I tend to sometimes just overdo it with powders. Because I just want it to all look nice and even and not necessarily toned down, but not out here looking crazy either. That's not something I want. But I hope me being candid, even though I'm not going anywhere, I'm just filming content. Just my own little kind of get ready with me. Because life does not come with an instruction manual. And when both of your parents are gone, you have people you can call, right? But sometimes I don't want to be a burden. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's my truth. It's just my truth. This is just a black opal liquid lipstick. And this is the Made by Mitchell. This is his Lip Sync Soft Matte Cream. I don't know what color is this. Flamenco. I think it's just flamingo, but flamenco. Make sure that this is like horribly dirty. So, you know, here we are. Kind of just learning as we go. Because life is not given with an instruction manual. As much as I would want it to be, that's not how that works. I have talked about these so many times. The fact that this dries down to like a soft, touchable matte is so crazy to me. I love how pretty these are. This was my favorite color over the summer. I wore this color, y'all, to the whitest of white meat. There was nowhere else for me to wear this color to that I hadn't already did it. I wore this color down. Sis ain't have nothing else for me. Like, girl, where you going? So, One Size Powder Melt Spray. I'm excited to give the Danessa Myricks one a try when I'm done with this one. I feel like Danessa stuff is going to do me some justice in the summertime. So this is my finished beat. And of course I got makeup on my sweater. Just when I'm about to go film something. So I feel like this is pretty and soft. It gets the point across. Do I look honest? Do I look like an honest hairstylist? Like, I want to play in your hair. Yay. We're done. She's pretty. This is pretty. Complexion looks really, really good. I approve.